is a hot off the press show. So how many, let's have a quick show of hands. How many people have a hand? How many people are broadly supportive of the plan to build nuclear power stations in the UK to satisfy our increasing energy demands? One? Really? Only one? Two? Three? Honestly? Is it anybody really dead against it? One? So I guess everybody else is like... If you're there, can you just raise your hand? Okay. Well, death comes to those who don't care, I suppose. Sorry, I lost some weight. What? Actually, not work. Belittle before we even begin. Where's the beginning text? Right, sorry. Just to let you know, we are streaming this performance live on the internet, and you can now be heard by, I don't know how many people there are listening, but I was probably like 10. Maybe. Let's bring the lights down on the audience. Okay, and then maybe a bit more on us. Down on us. Okay. James Greer playing bass. Philip Brunner on the drums. And Nathan Fustek. Roll
don't know the damage you do. Oh, Mr. Proton, please don't change. We know what you're going through. Oh, Mr. Proton, please don't leave. You don't know the damage you'll do. Oh, Mr. Proton, please don't change. We know what you're going through.
2 billion years ago, the algae learned to split the water, wielding the power of the sun. They shattered the stable molecule, freeing protons and electrons. They prepared the atmosphere for us, of course, slowly but surely choking the aboriginal anaerobic bacteria. 4 billion years before that, give or take, a supernova exploded, cooking inside of it everything we know, including music stands. Our planet was nothing but a hot, molten blob, a bright spot in someone else's sky. Created in this supernova and confined to our blazing sphere was our friend uranium. Yes, a friend! You see, uranium, is everywhere. In every rock, sea, soil, slowly turning back to lead as it cries its helium tears. But it cries for us. And those tears keep our planet alive. You see, for it is uranium, the radioactive decay of uranium, that heats the hot heart of our planet. 0.1 watts per ton. Back to the genocidal extinctor algae. Blindly, eagerly, fundamentally altering the planet and its atmosphere as they flourish. And some of these algae are busy on the coast of what will come to be known, by us at least, as Gabon. And these fellas are dying in the hot steam as it rises through their pool. But they are not sad, for they are witnessing something that can never and will never happen again. A naturally occurring nuclear chain reaction. What? Yes. At that time there was a lot more uranium-235, the hot-headed brothers of uranium-238. If uranium-238 is shedding hot tears, then uranium-235 is literally spitting molten pits. And these guys were ready to rumble, trapped in a granite rock stream there in Gabon. And let's think of them as being drunken in a drunken brawl. But they're so drunk, none of their punches are landing until our friend, the algae, arrived. The water sobers the U-235 up a bit. And suddenly, they start connecting. A chain reaction of U-on-U violence erupts, boiling the water away, wiping out the algae, and leaving the hot-headed uranium-235 to get all confused again, and then the fighting stops until the water returns. And this goes on for 150 rounds of 1 million years each, lasting through the Great Snowball and the formation of the continental plates. 2.5 billion years later, give or take, glass makers are using the uranium compound from pitch blende to colour glass yellow. Fancy Europeans are using the same to tint their photographs. But it's not until Herr Klaproth, puffing on his pipe in his smoky Berlin laboratory, isolates uranium. It's not until that point does humanity take a step forward to knowing how the algae felt all those years ago in Gabon. is the act of releasing the energy of the sun stored in a sludge of dead photosynthetic matter. Then, causing a chain reaction in fissile material is the act of throwing open the gates to the energy of an exploding supernova. The algae remember, and they want to get close again. In their trillions, in their water transport, they flood to get near the reaction. They enter via a huge pipe 200 meters out from the coast of, let's say, Tungenes nuclear power station. 122 million liters of water sucked in up this pipe per hour. Picture a view of seawater 50 meters along one side and the other side, and the other side. Disappearing every hour to be heat treated and flushed out. EDF. Getting this guy's pen. They have an environmental mandate. The water that they return to the ocean cannot be more than 10 degrees different from what it is usually, which is quite a lot. Considering that the water is 0 or maybe 1 degree. They must make the minimum impact possible. When I asked them what the chief piece of damage limitation equipment they had, you know, the chief piece of environmental damage limitation equipment, the piece of equipment they had, they said, the fish return wheel. The fish return wheel. This water, 55 million liters per minute, is drawn into a vast pool inside the walls of the power station before entering the pumps and the cooling system. And as it does, the fish return wheel spins slowly, 1 revolution per 20 minutes. And little baskets on the bottom of the fish return wheel lift up the fish. It looks exactly like a Victorian mill wheel. And the fish are pulled out of the pool and die asphyxiated. What the wheel returns the fish to is not directly the sea. As it spins, it plops the fish, the mussels, and the sponge out onto a concrete platter, smothered, always, in seagulls. Whoever fucked it up cannot be blamed. The idea is that if they don't have a culture of blame, then they can quickly get to like, what the problem is and solve it. And I think the seal knows this, so he's just happily swimming around in his lovely swimming pool, which is quite warm and filled with fish. Why would you want to go into a horrible scaffold to leave that place? I wouldn't. But it's alright, seal. Still no blame. for this performance, which is not this performance, I'm telling you about the performance that I'm telling you about. For this performance, I travelled to Sellafield, which, as you probably know, is a very large nuclear waste processing plant up there in Cumbria, nestled very close to the Lake District. And Sellafield currently holds around 4,000 tons of plutonium, some of it English, some about 1,000 tons of Japanese plutonium, and about 2,500 tons of German plutonium. And the German plutonium, well, this stuff, it comes from Germany on a train. In Germany, where the train travels along, there are always people lying on the tracks. And they lie there, and then there's a queue of probably 1,000 policemen standing 2 by 2, and they walk up to the German protesters, and they say, "Excuse me, sir or madam, I'm afraid you have to move." And they say, "I'm not moving." And they say, "I'm afraid that we will have to move you. Are you okay with that?" And then they lift them up like this, and they carry them off to the side, and then they just do this, and the train moves along very, very slowly, because as the people are removed from the train, they go to the other end of the pilot. But when the train sneaks, presumably under the channel, it comes to London, it doesn't meet any such kind of protestations of people. So it's done at night time, and the plutonium is softly smuggled over to our beauty spot. I've been travelling to and from Germany quite a lot recently, so much that I have extensive experience of the security regime, and I know that it's possible to smuggle some shit. And in this case, I mean a small blob of shitty brown hashish, probably about this size, which transforms a dull and sometimes demeaning ritual into a thrill-filled personal adventure. The worst case scenario is, I suppose, that they find it in the strip search sheet. I don't know, is there more shit? Plutonium was discovered, and as the discoverer, I think his name was Roth, one is entitled to name one's element and also to state the abbreviation by which it would be known on the periodic table. So Mr. Roth, obviously a cheery chap, thought it would be fun to call his new element plutonium, because it was discovered shortly after uranium, and obviously this planetary thing. But he decided that for a laugh, he would make the abbreviation PU, poo. He was pretty sure that yeah, they would laugh and then say, well, sorry, can't call your new element poo, call it something else. But they didn't notice, or they did and didn't mind. So there, forever it is known as PU. PU. Now PU is a decay element formed from decayed uranium. It's kind of like a browny grey. And so I wondered what it would be like to do some poo transportation of my own. So I discovered that ingesting poo is not nearly as dangerous as inhaling poo. It's actually you might get sick if you do PU because it is toxic, but not necessarily it wouldn't necessarily irradiate you from the inside. And since I was going to keep having it in my body for around a day, I thought, nothing too bad would happen. I also wondered if metal detectors in the airport would pick it up inside my body. Do they have Geiger counters or dosimeters at airports? I mean, I know the pilots carry dosimeters, dosimeters. But yeah, I mean, the ideal piece of hashish, the ideal size of hashish to smuggle, or shit to smuggle, which is about that big, as I say, because it can be mistaken for a small stone. Yep, and it might have gotten into my bag on a country exploit, for instance. And my contact at Sellafield reckoned that he could lay his hands on a piece of poo that size. So we met in a small cafe in Egremont, which is a little town near Sellafield, famous for its World Gurning Championships, which are held there every year, and in which I competed and didn't win. I'll try and do the face I did. So we met in a small cafe in Egremont, and he slipped me the poo, and I swallowed it with a glug of tea. It was bitter, and heavy, and it dropped into the pit of my stomach like an old penny down the drain. But no time to waste, I went straight to the airport, and I chose Stansted because I know it very well, and that's where I had accidentally smuggled this hashish. At this point, the poo was making me paranoid, really paranoid, and I was used to the other shit giving me a paranoid airport experience, but this was something new. I was bolstered by the mission of returning the fissile material, and I convinced myself that if I was rumbled, then the customs guys would like just weep at the genius of my idea. My selfless genius, in fact, it says here. So, boarding pass. On the conveyor belt, coat off, belt off, laptop out, pockets, yeah, clear. I'm backing through the gate, stomach churning. Beep, 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 beep. Oh, fuck. Step over here, please, sir. And I'm frisked, wonderfully, lightly, and the wand goes around this sort of crucified passenger. And here, around the stomach, no beeps, down the legs, beep, beep, beep. And it was, in fact, the eyelids on these boots. So my frisker taps me on the bum, and off I go. I go directly to a venue called Ausland. Auslander, in fact, which means foreigner. Auslander House, for example. Is that band called? Rammstein, they have a song that goes, Auslander House. So yeah, I go to Auslander. It's a small place. It's a small place. Smaller than this, in fact. And there's a very small stage, and on the stage is a little table, a sieve, and a jug of water, and a kind of hospital-style screen. So I take the screen and I put it in front of the table, and in silhouette, I drop my trousers and I shit into the sieve. And then I take the shit and my shit and I sort of show it around, and the people are, I guess, mildly tantalised by this thing. And then back behind the screen, I take the water and I wash the fecal matter off the poo, and then I take a piece of plutonium and I show it around in the space. And some people are shocked, some people are very, very angry, some people leave. My girlfriend cried. Some people told me I was a complete idiot, and I left. And then I had an accomplice drive me to the tracks where the German train passes through Berlin on its way to Sellafield, and I took my piece of poo and I laid it on the line. A lot of sneaking around in this business. I'll tell you that. It's very difficult to get a straight answer out of anybody. So I did a bit of sneaking of my own, and I ended up being invited to an all-party committee meeting in the Houses of Parliament, where Michael Fallon, who is a terrifying Tory monster, I mean, he's really, really terrifying when you see him in the flesh, was a chairing meeting of other politicians and union bosses and people who heads of huge corporations like Arriva, Siemens, and all the other gigantic businesses that are involved and would be involved in a new nuclear build in the UK. The reason this meeting was called is because there's something called the state aid case. Do you know what that is? Well, okay, there's a thing called the contract for difference. The contract for difference is an investment thing, what do they call it? Instrument, an investment instrument by which the Tories are looking to fund these new bills. And the contract for difference, the European Commission looked at it and thought, hang on a minute, this doesn't seem to offer a fair deal for the consumer. Amazing! So you know that there's a strike price, right, that's been agreed with EDF, and they are going to be paid, I think it's 9 something pence per megawatt hour for the next 35 years of generation. So the European Commission took want to take another look at this. So I got to the House of Parliament. I don't know if you've been there. Has anybody been to the House of Parliament? Some people have. Yeah, I mean, it's quite nice, you know. And the minute you go in there, I mean, I was just pissed out of my mind immediately on like the drugs and on power in general. And so I looked around and I thought, oh fuck this, I'm not going to sit in the public gallery. I'm just going to go through that door that looks extremely private, but there's no one standing there. So I went through the door, and I knew I shouldn't have gone through the door. And I walked up the stairs, and I knew I shouldn't have been walking up. And there's a camera, and I sort of looked at it and smiled. Cool, power. I walked up even further, and then I ended up on, what literally is the corridor of power. It was very quiet, the carpet was very, very soft, but I was walking on sponge. And I walked along, and I saw this sign on the side on the door, and it said, Leader of the House. I walked on a bit longer, and on the left it said, Leader of the Opposition. And on the right it said, Chief Whip's Office. And then there was Philip Hammond walking past me in the corridor. And there was John Burkham sitting at a desk, looking into a computer. So I just kept on walking. This is good. And I got to the end of the corridor, and a guy with a monocle and a kind of huge, imperial snake, whatever it was, on his neck, said, "Where are you going, sir?" And I said, "Oh, well, I'm going to the public gallery." He said, "Well, it's not this way." And then two policemen appeared from absolutely nowhere. "How did you get here, sir?" "Oh, I just walked along that corridor there." "That corridor, sir?" "Yes, no, you came from that way, sir." "No, I didn't. I walked along that corridor there." "No, you didn't. You walked along that corridor." They were very embarrassed that I had to, I could have said something to someone important. And anyway, but it really made me understand, if you're there, if you go to work there every day, you're too fucked about people on the street or anywhere else. I mean, there's just no need to even think about them because you've got everything, You've got bobbies everywhere, you've got lovely floors, sculptures and bright children and whatever everywhere. But it did make me wonder, I wonder what David Cameron thinks about the energy crisis and what he considered, what his thought processes were. So here's going to do a song about David Cameron, inside David Cameron's mind, as he thinks about the UK's energy crisis.
Here comes the power!
another artwork that. Is there any artists in here? 1, 2, I mean, yeah. Is there anybody in here who put an application in for the the Arts Angel Open? No. Do you know what that is? The Arts Angel Open is a competition where you propose an idea, a completely preposterous one, but they've got £1 million to make it happen. So my proposal was, you may not know this, but there was a uranium mine in Cornwall from 1870 to 1920. It doesn't function anymore. And you may also know this, that Margaret Thatcher tried to establish a uranium mine on the southern part of the island of Orkney, Stromness. Is that right, James? Stromness. I said Stornoway the other day. It's not Stornoway, and James is, Scotland. But Thatcher was met with really tremendous opposition, including some quite high-profile stuff from Peter Maxwell Davies, who's a composer who lives on one of these mini islands, and he wrote a piece of music called the Yellow Cake Suite, which was a kind of anti-Thatcher, anti-nuclear thing. It's quite nice. So what I decided to do was to dig down into the ground and remove 10 cubic meters of earth from the plutonium mine in the terrace mines in Cornwall, and do the same on this lovely little cove in Stromness, and then swap them. So put them on a big lorry, and they would probably drive past each other on the motorway at some point, and then you take this kind of 10 cubic meters of earth and put it into the gap left by the other 10 cubic meters of earth. Mr. McLaren, thank you for taking the time to apply. No. But it made me think about excavation quite a lot, and also the dentist. I had a wisdom tooth out. I don't know if that's happened to you. Right there. Oh no, I just had my tooth out. It was very unpleasant as you counted oh no, mouth is full of bleeding, and after lots of bleeding, they gave me some nice strong painkillers. I love those nice strong painkillers. Nice strong painkillers. Those nice strong painkillers. Not yet. Lions digging in my shadows. It was quite unnerving to hear the cracking of my little tooth effects. My little tooth effects. I hope they forgive me, 'cause I feel the pain coming. I feel the pain coming on. lot of room down here for fun if anybody wants to use that. Feel the need. Just saying that because in about, I don't know, 5-10 minutes there's going to be a kick-ass disco number. And you want to stay there. Great. It's testament to my friends here how brilliant musicians they are. And they don't know that song at all, and they just joined in. So thank you, being so good. 2003, just over 10 years ago, the American space shuttle Columbus ripped into space. Named after the colonizing conquistador, initiator of a streak of genocidal greed, the Columbus space shuttle made it to the newest man-made continent, polished the absurd ego of power, and returning home through the unwelcoming stratosphere, accidentally melted over Texas, land of the cowboy. It was, in the language of NASA, our contingency. And as a streak of plasma dripped down the open blue jean sky, all the cowboys wept. Malditos Yankees, Come to the point where we do the audience participation. I think what we should do is kind of imagine that we are kind of subatomic particles. We're just moving around and might bump into someone. Something might happen. So there's an area down here. So I would suggest, standing up and sort of coming down to this area down here. That's maybe more than 3 people at all. Otherwise, we need to have an abundance of kind of free, mobile, motile thingies. Who knows what motile means?
I do.
What does it mean?
Motile is a property of organic matter to be mobile.
Okay. Any more atoms? We can join it anyways. It's just like a simple moving around thing. So, play a bit of that. So you're moving around, just like moving around photographs. We're going to do anything interesting. That's it. Move around. Just notice like the space between you. Try and walk into the space between other people. Stay fluid. Stay fluid. You don't want to hurt anybody. No one wants to hurt you. You're just moving around. Go slow. Maybe go fast and then slow. But aim for the space in between people. But maybe you start to get a bit of eye contact. And you see someone. You see someone else. Maybe you acknowledge them. Maybe you think, hey, babe, we're gonna swap some swap some protons. Swap some neutrons. Just doing that. How's it feel? Is anybody feeling like they want to get involved in someone else's nucleus? So just keep moving, looking for the space. Looking for the space. There's loads of there's bound to be other materials that will be attracted to you. Just keep moving. But really what you want to do is get out of here. Is there something burning inside you? You're really heavy inside and you want to leave. You want to inject some hot healing tears. Don't worry if you bump into someone, that's nice. You get a bit of a spin. That's good. So what we're doing is we're using this music as a neutron moderator to slow you down. We're You're first, but I'll just go around the room and get something in queue. And you can do it from wherever you are. Actually, if you want to do the experiment that's coming up, and rather than you yourself, to Mamoru Irigichi for the amazing house.
One more, come on.
This is out with the concept. Come on, come stand a bit closer. It's a bit closer. Keep it. And yeah, thanks. That's great.
That was good.